when I started to do this, I was 1.3 million followers.
That makes me very happy.
Yep, that's me. But let's rewind a bit. This was me in high school. I definitely wasn't so handsome. I had moved in the UK with my parents in 2010. I hardly knew any English at all and was always the silent kid as I didn't know how to speak English. But slowly I started learning, and don't get me wrong, I was still performing below average. But till one day I thought the only way I'm going to move forward is through hard work. I was never going to let anyone outwork me. And I ended up with really good looks and grades before I left year 13. Then the gates of heaven opened and I got into City University of London. Yes, it was a massive accomplishment from zero English to getting into a great university. Now fast forwarding a few years later, this was my life. I was happy, I got to meet new people and I got a decent pay, but there was something always missing. I was doing this 9 to 5 every single day, constantly repeating the process of sleeping, working, sleeping, working. I mean, it was like eating a pizza for the rest of my life. I got sick and tired of it pretty quick. But like most people, I had no choice. I still had to pay my bills. I had to force myself to keep going so I could keep my family happy till one gloomy afternoon, I decided to quit. Enough was enough. I remember my boss's face just dropped and wondered what had happened. And that was that. I'm never working here again. Honestly, I was happy I left something I hated, but my parents on the other hand, yeah, you get the picture. We as Indians at a certain age are supposed to get on with life. If you're seen as sitting at home doing nothing, you're seen as an alien. It isn't normal from where I come from. The constant burden of trying to find something I like was always glooming around my head, to the point where my home started to feel toxic that I just wanted to escape. And that opportunity came rather quick. Remember them from my high school pictures? Yeah, these were my mates and they were planning on a school reunion. A trip to Budapest for 3 days. It was the perfect opportunity to escape from home. So I packed my bags and left with every little savings I had left. Once at the airport with my mates, I came to a sudden realization that I had never experienced the clubbing or party life, and yet I was here. I was a bit skeptical but excited that I got to try this fun lifestyle out. Maybe this was the thing I was missing in life. The next 3 days were the best days of my life. I mean, the best days. We had just landed and within an hour we hit the clubs and it was crazy. One of the craziest nights I had experienced, which I would never ever experience again. The clubs in Budapest were something else. The environment was built for just partying hard and get hammered. I mean, look at us.
All I'm saying is it's the hardest to get drunk people home. Things are flipping high.
The plan was to do as many activities as possible, but I was fully finished. I had to carry bags around everywhere I went. But I'm glad I went out and saw Budapest. Just look at the beautiful views. It was a great time. We saw amazing places. We went to a shooting range and best of all visited the best outdoor hot tub. It was a blast. We would then at night party hard as usual till it was time to go back home. I remember us doing this for 3 days and having just 2 hours sleep daily. Don't get me wrong, I had so much fun. The memories we built, the things I got to experience was just incredible. On the plane home, I came to realize that most people who go clubbing and drinking just do it to escape their reality. You're not bound with any responsibilities while clubbing. You're just thinking of enjoying your time, and that is the issue. As once the trip was over, I was back to reality, but this time I had zero savings. I was left with nothing. It got so bad I had to take a £4,000 loan to pay off my expenses. Yeah, a 20-year-old me living off my parents with no future. I was disappointed in myself and lost all respect. So I decided to join back my old company that I thought I would never ever join again. Slowly the same old lifestyle came back, work home. But at least this time I wasn't relying on my parents. But as everything was coming back to normal, the world came to a standstill.
The city is under a tough new lockdown.
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 The lockdown has caused chaos at Shanghai's port.
Yet the streets were empty. You wouldn't see anything move, not even a pin drop in the street. It was a bizarre experience.
But from Monday, you should work from home.
Everyone was forced to start working from home, and this was the perfect opportunity to rediscover myself. And this is where I started my personal development journey. Straight away, the biggest thing I noticed was that we seem to detach from ourselves and want to live the life of others we see on social media. Don't get me wrong, I was guilty of this too, but after watching countless videos of GaryVee and Jay Shetty, I started rediscovering myself. I started meditating, reading books, and I mean a lot of books, and running. I was truly connecting with myself and the universe. On this rediscovering path, I realized I love teaching and motivating others, and I knew the best way to do this would be through social media. And I was actually lucky that GaryVee used to say,
Currently, the two places where that is TikTok and LinkedIn.
and I took that chance. I started posting educational TikToks while documenting my journey, and that's how it all began. There were many people making fun of me, but it was something that didn't bother me as I had already been at my worst, so no one's opinion were going to affect me. After a few weeks of making videos, I saw few people posting financial education content on TikTok. And I thought this is something I could do, and as soon as I started doing this, boom, the followers just increased rapidly from 0 to 10,000 followers within a week, and that was huge for me. Soon after getting these followers, I came across the world of Forex, especially Forex robots. When I heard you can make money while you sleep, I was hooked. I started documenting this bot and shared how much I was making, creating some hype. I mean, I was making a good amount of money and people kept asking me to show them how to set the robot, so I saw a gap in the market and I made a course on it. Now you must be wondering, I made all my money through courses. Well, initially yes, but it was due to all the hours I spent trying to find a robot and set it up. And it was once said, if you're good at something, never do it for free, especially when you're broke. So yeah, in the first day I made around £7,000. I mean, I was only selling the course for just £50 and I had made this much. Now think about the power of the internet. It's crazy. I was broke and lost, but now I had just made 7 grand in a night. That was crazy. Shortly after I started noticing the robot wasn't doing so well for people, I stopped the course. And as we all know, Forex is a risky business. You could make money instantly, but at the same time, you could lose everything. Eventually, I ended up making around £30,000 while the course was active, which was a big thing for me. But as I started expanding my mind by reading such amazing books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, I realized anything was possible. You just have to put in the work and believe in yourself and you will achieve anything. So I just carried on my TikTok and YouTube journey, but at the start, I wasn't making enough money from the content side. So I knew I had to do something else to pay my bills. So I decided to try out Amazon FBA as it was something I wanted to start for a long time. 1 month into starting this new business, I lost around 400 to 500 pounds. But I tried once more and still lost some money. So I decided to put it on hold and focus on my content side. Now here comes 2021. From February 2021 till April 2021, my TikTok blew up and I went from 60,000 followers to over 1 million followers. This was huge as in the beginning of the year. Alright guys, so I'm just making this video on the 31st of December 2020, which is today, and it's currently 13 past 12. And I'm just going to quickly tell you my goals for 2021. My first goal is my second goal is to my third goal is to get my fourth goal is to get 1 million followers on TikTok. This was huge as in the beginning of the year, I set a goal that this year I'm going to hit 1 million on TikTok. but it happened in the first 5 months of the year. I made around £30,000 through just brands. Yeah, 0 to 60 within a few months. But just after hitting 1 million followers, I came to a realization that I'm teaching about business and finance, but I don't even have a successful business myself. Therefore, I decided to start Amazon FBA once again, and this time I was not giving up. I decided to get my friends with me to start together. We learn from each other's mistake and build multiple 6-figure Amazon businesses. And here I was on 29th of October 2021. Yep, that's me. A normal human being meeting arguably one of the most influential person in the 21st century. It's crazy how his advice helped me become successful, and because of this success, I even got to meet him. Just look at the fan moment I had. I owed him so much, and in return, he only said to give you, my followers, much more in return. And this is my life now. It has its ups and downs, and what I've learned through this roller coaster of a ride is that life is constantly moving. If you stand still, you will get left behind. And if you hustle, then you will get forward. Just take me for example. I went from a broke kid to now making £75,000 a month. I never even thought in my dreams I would be making this much a month. Currently, I'm in the process of building $1 million business and document this whole journey on YouTube to help you guys learn from my mistakes and lessons. So if you want to join me on this crazy adventure, just hit that subscribe button.